In all the time I followed politics, and in particular followed what legislative bodies get up to, I have lost much of my faith in the ability of anyone, no matter how eloquent, no matter what life experience they bring to a speech, to actually persuade someone of their position. We almost never see it, but today we have an example of it. And it involves Nebraska. Nebraska, like many states, spends the vast majority of their time coming up with ever more creative ways to suppress the trans community. And they were debating one of those bills when Senator John Fredrickson gave a speech about acceptance, and it made an actual difference. So we're gonna play a couple parts of the speech for you. Take a look at this.
The world can be tough and scary. I personally know a thing or two about having a family that many people might say is not normal. I stand here today confidently to tell you, if you love your kid unconditionally for who they are, and if they know they're loved, you can weather a lot.
So we're gonna give more of that to you in just a moment, but I want you to know that that senator is distinct in a couple of different ways. The most important, perhaps, one is that he clearly actually cares about what he's talking about, and that is far rarer in politics than most people acknowledge. And clearly he's affected by it. We should have more of that in politics. Also, he is, at least in Nebraska, the first out gay politician in that legislative body. And I'm of the position, and we've often said that representation matters, that having a variety of life experiences matters. This is a great example of that, and that will play into the continuation of the speech.
So this weekend, when you go home, I want you to love your babies. Surround yourself with the people who love you. Let them know you love them. And don't spend a minute of your energy or time thinking about any of my colleagues in here who are too scared of difference to allow themselves to understand and celebrate the beauty and joy that you bring to our state.
And as a result of that speech, it did actually make a difference. So this bill would have banned trans youth from sports teams, locker rooms, bathrooms that matched their gender identity. It was being filibustered, needed 33 votes to pass, but in the end, it only got 31. After that speech that you just saw, two senators, Tom Brandt and Merv Reep, who initially had co-sponsored the bill, not just said that they would support it, but co-sponsored it, chose not to vote. They abstained from the vote, and as a result of that, the bill failed. And so, as I said, it is very rare that we see someone stand up in one of these great deliberative bodies that we were raised to think are so important, the Senate more so than any other, and actually change someone's opinion, because the vast majority of politicians don't have opinions. They don't have values. They have a list of positions that they're given by their donors that they're supposed to take. Speech is irrelevant, but in this case, not so much. Now, look, I could also be cynical and say, even after all that, 2 abstained and 31 stuck with it. I mean, my God, what is going on in some of these places? But I'm gonna resist that urge because it worked. It worked. The fact that Fredrickson gave this speech actually got through to 2 people, and now, at least for now, the bill didn't pass. Sharon, what do you think?
You can't legislate empathy and decency. You have to win hearts and minds. And to me, this is a prime example of, you have to see me. You have to actually see me as a human being. And so when 2 co-sponsors of this nonsense moonwalk back, I do think that's a victory. This is a man who could have stood up and said, you know what? I am angry And I wouldn't have a problem with it, okay, if it wasn't this kind of emotion, but another. But that's not what was done. What was done was see me, not exactly begging, but human to human, eye to eye, see me. And it worked.
Yeah. Thankfully. And look, as I said, I was like feeling a little bit cynical. I saw a comment, Neon Death says 2 people at a time, John. And yeah, you're right. You're right. A little bit. I mean, look, thank you for reminding me. Obviously, I have to think that on some level, or else we wouldn't be doing this. Like, it is so difficult to get through to people and to influence people at all. We are obviously trying to do that, and we've been doing that for many years, and we'll continue to for many years. But anyway, in this case, very glad Fredrickson's presence there had an effect, and not just for a bill, but for people who would have been very much affected by this. And it doesn't mean that the fight stops. It's not like the transphobes in Nebraska, let alone anywhere else, is simply going to stop. But for now, they didn't succeed. But I also just want to quickly remind everyone, it's not just that a bill like this is proposed. There are mountains of them. If you follow just what Republicans are doing at the state level, you would come away with the conclusion, quite naturally, that by far, with no close runner-up, the biggest threat facing America is 14-year-old trans people. Like, you would have to come away with that conclusion, because like, take a look at this, 540 bills to repress the trans community. 21 already passed, thankfully 92 failed, that's good news. 427 still active, mountains, piles of bills, all designed to attack trans people. And that obviously that doesn't fit in with my values, so that bothered me initially. But then I thought, the economy doesn't really have any problems, and the climate is trending in the right direction, and everything's great out there. So why not just go on this crusade? Sarcasm aside, this is what the right is doing, and some of them are doing it because they're small, hateful people. Some of them are doing it because they're small, hateful people that have nothing better to do with their time. And others are doing it just to get right-wingers to vote for them, because they spent years demonizing gay marriage. Now this is the thing that they think they see their voters as rubes, as dumb hicks. And they think, well, if we feed them this, they'll vote for us for a few years. That is the devil's bargain that they have clearly made 540 times over. Any other thoughts before we move on to our final topic?
Indoctrination, divide, distract, and inspire. I actually think that's what they're doing, creating this passion about non-issues. And honestly, a large number of people continue to fall for it.
Yeah, unfortunately. We're trying, we'll continue to try.